the kids that wanted and several within years. I think I hear you a little bit more. What do you think? I guess I'm starting.
So we're going to try to get started because we're on a bit of a time crunch. So if you would mind just passing this along.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very, very much for being here. You have no idea how much this means to us. We've known all these years that Christina was very, very loved, but seeing all of you in one room, or at least as many of you has found out in time, is very, very important to us. And we are live streaming this. Hello, Uncle Klaus and Aunt Gloria and any other relatives I don't know are watching it live, and then other people will be watching later. Ed and Joy, Uncle Ed and Aunt Joy, hello, and then other people will be watching it when they get off work. So thank you very much for being here. Let's see. So this will be a celebration of life. We'll do a little laughing, so probably a lot of crying. And then Jessica is her daughter. She and I are wearing some bright colors on top of the traditional black because that would make Christina happy. If this had been a room full of people dressed in all black, she would have, we wanted to, if you look around, you see the colors, spring colors. This is because these are Christina's favorite colors, and we wanted to represent that. And so I am going to read a poem that Christina wrote and sent to cousin Dorothea. Raise your hand real quick. And then we'll move on to the next item. Hopefully everybody got a program.
Everybody in the back room.
Can you hear me back there? Okay. Okay, so happy Thanksgiving, happy autumn, harvest of blessings. So this is a poem Christina wrote and sent to cousin Dorothea and Aunt Brigitte and Uncle Ed in Vancouver, Canada. On this special day in November, may your hearts be warm like a glowing ember as we consider and remember the harvest of blessings we enjoy yearly and our friends and family we love so dearly. We give thanks to God who has favored us clearly. And I will turn it over to Paul and Marianne and Dorothea, who will lead us in a hymn.
Yes, bring along. So there's some papers on your table if you'd like to join in. Yeah, a hymn that Christina loved.
We'll sing, we're singing How Great Thou Art, and we'll sing, well, maybe we'll just go ahead and sing all three verses that are on there. Maybe she dearly loved all of those verses. I don't like to sing 20 verses of a hymn, but maybe we can do 3. All right. Oh Lord, my God, when I in awesome wonder consider all the works thy hands have made, I see the stars, I hear the rolling thunder, thy power throughout the universe display. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. That God his Son not sparing, sent him to die I scarce can take it in that on the cross my burden gladly bearing, he bled and died to take away my sin. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. When Christ shall come, with shout of acclamation, and take me home, what joy shall fill my heart. Then I shall bow in humble adoration and proclaim, my God, how great thou art. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art.
Slideshow.
All right, I'm up next. My name is James. I'm Christina's nephew, Becca's son. It's a big honor that Mom and Uncle Paul asked me to read Christina's life story at this. I'm just really grateful to be here where we can all connect and share our memories of Christina. So Christina Maria Yock, née Tonn, was born November 2nd, 1967 in Sacramento to Joachim Harry Jacob Tonn and Mary Elizabeth Tonn, née Horton. She was the second of their 3 children. When Christina was 7, the Tonn family moved to Lake of the Pines in between Auburn and Grass Valley, California, where she and her siblings happily roamed hundreds of acres in the countryside, exploring the creeks and forests. In the summer, she could be found doing somersaults in the pool or swimming out to the raft in the lake, riding her moped as fast as she could, her long hair flying in the wind, and going for long walks in the forest. Christina alternately attended Forest Lake Christian School and homeschooled, graduating in 1986. In the spring of 1990, Christina moved to Brookings, Oregon with her parents, where she eventually met and later was married to Richard Yock. They had 1 daughter, Jessica Olivia Yock, in 1995, and Christina was always a doting and fiercely devoted mom to Jessica. In 2002, the couple divorced, and in 2004, Christina moved to Roseburg, She spent the next 11 years caring for her elderly parents until they passed on, Jacob in 2008 and Mary in 2015. For the past 8 years, she's lived a simple life at Central Trailer Park, making friends in her community, visiting this library frequently, following her inquisitive mind to learn new things, going to outdoor concerts at Stewart Park, foraging for wild fennel, which tastes like black licorice, and walking along the river, and always saving leftovers to feed the ducks and geese. Although Christina has struggled with bipolar disorder from her teen years on, this did not completely define her life. A prolific writer of poetry and stories, she also created art in unique forms. She would often send poems with stamped or hand-drawn pictures, each in a given theme, to friends and relatives for birthdays, holidays, and other special occasions. Christina loved music and would sing along with the radio or a cappella. She played the flute during her high school years and often played piano by ear. She enjoyed various genres of music, but Christian hymns and choruses were her favorite. She loved to read her Bible and had a deep and abiding faith in God. Christina had many friends in the Roseburg area, and she often found ways to share what she had with them. She would make Valentine's cards and hand them out with chocolate hearts to the homeless, and bring a pie or cornbread to potluck dinners at her friends' homes, or for small gatherings in her trailer. She had a special affinity with children, the elderly, cats, dogs, and other animals and birds. Intelligent and witty, and with a mischievous sense of humor, she excelled at making clever puns and word twisters, and at trying to stump her siblings with hinky pinkies and other kinds of riddles. I didn't know this, but a hinky pinky is a special kind of riddle where the answer is 2 words with 2 syllables and they have to rhyme. So I've got 2 hinky pinkies that she wrote for us all. Okay, so what do you call an outspoken person from the region? A vocal local. Okay, here's another one. This one's harder though. What do you call a friendly, nice farmer? A pleasant peasant. She loved writing those things. Christina especially loved visiting Jessica and Brookings, walking along the beach with her, chatting about anything and everything. Christina's loving and tender spirit will be well remembered and greatly missed. Christina had symptoms of multiple untreated ailments, likely including diabetes and congestive heart failure. On March 20th, 2024, these ailments combined to take her from this world. She passed away in her home, in her favorite chair. She lived life on her own terms and met the end peacefully. Having been preceded in death by her parents, grandparents, 2 cousins, an aunt, and 2 uncles, Christina is survived by her older sister, Becca, younger brother, Paul, sister-in-law, Deanna, daughter, Jessica, son-in-law, Dane, uncle, Klaus, and aunt, Gloria, uncle, Will, and aunt, Marianne, uncle, Ed, and aunt, Joy, aunt, Alice, cousin, Dan, and his wife, Valerie, cousin, Dorothea, cousins, Dwight, Karen, Julie, Jarrett, Stephanie, and their spouses, niece, Morgan, and her husband, Michael, nieces, Angela and Emily, nibbling, Red, nephew, James, that's me, and my partner, Jenny, and nephews, Andrew, Benjamin, William, Eric, and Alex, as well as a grandniece and several grandnephews. Thank you. Now I'll invite Dorothea up for a poem.
Hi, everyone. I'm Dorothea. I'm one of the cousins of Christina, and I'm from Canada. So I'm one of the ones from Canada. The others are online. They couldn't be here. And as you've already heard, Christina was very talented And it kind of runs in the family, the writing thing and poetry and different things about writing. But Christina was very faithful in writing people letters and cards. And I'm not sure how many of you got cards or letters from her, but we certainly did. I hope you did too. And this is from 2006, she sent a poem that she had written. And she told me at that time, she said, I wrote this poem for a lady going through a hard time. So this, maybe you can take it to heart, because I know many of you have been touched by her life. And this is written by her. I've been thinking of you and in my prayers, asking God to show you how much he cares, hoping that in God's love you're abiding, that day by day he is always guiding. May you be filled with his peace and grace as he gives you the strength each new day to face. May God's warmth and joy cover you like a shield as your heart continues gently to be healed. And that's a prayer for you, and I'm sure she would want all of you to take that to heart. She loved the Lord, and we know that she's with him now, rejoicing, and she's in a new body and healed from some of the earthly woes that are down here that many of us have and experience. We've experienced the highs and the lows of life, but we know that we have a hope. And although we grieve, we do not grieve without hope. And we have the hope that we will see her again.
Now, Jessica, her daughter, is going to share a memory with us.
I apologize in advance. I've been told a lot that people have a hard time hearing me, so hopefully you're okay back there. I was young when my parents got divorced, and that age is a difficult time since you don't understand much about the world. And at that time, I didn't have warm, fuzzy feelings for my mother. But as I would grow up, my father would continue to tell me that my mother couldn't help a lot of the things that had happened. But that she was a good mom and that she cared for me very much. He would tell me how she played classical music for me before I was even born, and many other things. And thinking back, I know now that when she was doing well, she was a great mother, caring, supportive, always helping me to learn. I do remember a particular learning moment that really stuck with me. Like many kids, I hated wearing shoes. We lived in town, so we walked everywhere. And I had just gotten my first new pair of flip-flops. I had been wearing them all morning. I was so excited because it was as close to not wearing shoes as you could be. But when it came time to walk to the store with my mom, she told me to put my tennis shoes on. And I was like, but I have flip-flops on. They're shoes. I contested. She told me your feet are going to start hurting if you keep wearing those. But I continued to contest, believing I would be fine, because right now they felt perfectly comfortable. But about halfway through the walk, my feet were hurting. And by the end of that walk, I told myself, I need to listen to my mother. She really does know better. She's wise. And that was the last pair of flip-flops I ever asked for. My life has been pretty easy compared to many, as far as I can tell. And I contribute a lot of that to the fact that I took that lesson seriously. I did listen to my parents and other adults. I eventually had to learn that you can't always trust adults, but I would still listen. This lesson and many others I learned from my mother have helped me lead a fulfilling life, making connections with other people and not judging them. That life isn't about how much money or fame you have, it's about the relationships. And due to my mother's circumstances, she didn't usually have much. That never kept her from giving what she did have to someone she felt needed it more. And someone's status didn't keep her from trying to understand the struggles they might be going through. My mother often didn't get the same generosity that she gave due to the stigma of her bipolar. And I will admit that she wasn't easy to be around when her polar opposite came to face. However, as much as I have heard people ask, and often wondered myself why she didn't take her medication, I've seen that the world isn't so black and white. Otherwise, we would always make logical decisions. And we don't always know or understand all the reasons behind a decision that someone does make. So, Mom, I hope you're at peace. And I'll try to be a good person. Just like you were. But now you never have to be cold or alone, and you'll always be by my side. I won't be miles away. And thanks to a lot of you, I've heard how close she was to God, and my dad's told me many a times that he never knew anyone closer to God than her, and that being with her renewed his faith because he saw things that he just knew that there had to be someone looking out for her. So thank you all for coming.
All right, we're gonna sing Amazing Grace. We'll sing the first, second, and fourth verses that are on your sheet there. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once but now am found. Was blind, but now I see. God's grace has taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieve. Our refuge was in that grace appeared, the hour I first believed. Number 4. When we've been there 10,000 years, bright shining as the sun, we know best days to sing God's praise than when we first begun.
This is amazing. Yes, it's an invisible ink. I would now like to open it up to friends and family to share some memories. If we can try to keep them to 1 or 2 or 3 minutes, we do have, we are on a time crunch to vacate the room, and we want time to mingle with you afterward and eat. But if you want to come up here or just share from right where you are, if that's easier. Anyway, we would love to hear from you for just a couple of minutes. Some memories that you have, Christina. Go ahead.
Christina, we were lucky enough to see Christina a few weeks ago. She came to our women's group, and we got to talk to her, and we just love her so much. But I had a special connection with Christina. She's bipolar, and my daughter's bipolar, and they have very similar life stories. And she was so good. She'd always ask me about Angela, and we talked about it, and she would share insights from her own life. And that was just really helpful to me. So I just really appreciate her. And I took her over home, from our Bible last time, and she asked me about Angela, and we had a nice little talk about her, and I just really appreciated her so much. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm, go
Robert,
ahead. Oh, okay. I'm just
let's
going.
go to
So Christina was a friend of mine, me, Christina, Dimitri, and Larry, we would all, hang out, we'd, have food together, share stories. Funny stories, talk about life, and we had some really fun times together, she was really good friend, I guess, we had a lot of fun times, we'd have pizza, have some good food, just with the stories, it was fun time.
Thank you.
His name is Bob White. I was a friend of hers and even when she and her mom lived together north of town here, they had me over for a dinner or two or to see a movie. And I've received some of those greeting cards that Christina made, still have them. And took her to Stewart Park, see some music there, a time or two. He's gonna be missed. Yes, thank you.
I'm proud to say that only Christine was a very good friend. I saw her about a month or so ago by this dinosaur Sinclair gas station on Garden Valley. We sat and talked. She probably sat more than I did. Okay. Anyway, her mother, your mama, was, I'm proud to say she allowed me to be adopted as her spiritual mother. She's with my mama now. Got to meet anyway.
Yeah.
What a wonderful reunion. That's gotta be someday. Christine's not suffering no more. That's not heaven. That wouldn't be heaven. You know, and she can't see this, but I know she's up there praying for us. That's what the Bible says. I'm proud to meet the journalist, her sister, and Paul, and I got it all pretty well categorically right, you know. I miss Christine. I miss her mother, your mother. But I'm gonna see him someday. If in this life I only have hope, I have no hope.
Right.
Of all men and women, most miserable. Thank you for this time of celebration of my dear friend Christine. And I love all of you. Thank you.
Right. Well, I want to say to all of her family, I'm so sorry for your loss. We will all miss Christina. I lived at the trailer park that she lived in, and I saw her almost on a daily basis. And she always was positive and bright, and she had a compliment and a story and wonderful sense of humor. And but what I admired the most about her is with her disabilities, she educated herself. She read those books. And she was very well rounded. She was educated very well. And I really admired that about her. And that's all I say. Thank you.
I'm Shannon. My parents own the trailer park. God, for people super emotional.
Good. Lord bless you.
I feel the same stuff as her, and renting to her was such a blessing. She gave me a run for my money all the time. Honestly, the one that every day when I would see her would joke with me when I would leave that she liked my dad just a little bit more than she liked me. Which is always a funny thing because my dad was the one I would use as the enforcer. Like, if you don't listen to me, I'm sending my dad. He's scary. And she's like, bring it on. Beautiful smile. Loved her sister. I went a long time without seeing her sometimes, but I would run into her the most random places. And I would always come up and say hi to her because she wouldn't always recognize me and then would always thank me for saying hi to her and would still proceed with, I like your dad a little bit more. Every time. My dad was a good ally to her. Helped her out as much as we could, and I know how much she was loved at the trailer park. Everyone kept an eye out for her. Tammy, Marie, everyone. So she had a really cool community. And for those of the family that weren't always around that, just know she was so loved and safe there. I don't know who Dimitri is. Dimitri.
Right here. Right here.
Oh, he was right here. Okay, okay.
Coming outside to check on.
Okay,
And then he comes back.
She had good friends and people that I think she would consider family. So
sorry for losing it. Speaking in front of people is always rough for me, but she was loved and she's gonna be missed, so.
Thank you so much.
So, I have several children and they were not able to make the trip with me. But my daughter Emily wrote a couple of letters and asked me to read them to Aunt Christina. So I read one yesterday when Becca and James and I said our final goodbye to her bodies. And I told Emily I would read the other one now. Dear Aunt Christina, have I ever told you my favorite color? It might be a little obvious, but it's green. I never got the little birdie to tell me yours, but I'd like to guess it's purple. Not a bad color, huh? I like the darker variety. Like this next one, she's writing it in each of the colors that she's talking about. Very beautiful, just like you. I miss you. And she really underlined the miss you and then said, tornado of love. And then in the heart, she wrote little doodle here. And then she just did a little doodle. And she said, there. Trying my best to stay here, but it's hard without you. Happy Easter, by the way. I didn't get to tell you that. Can't miss out on the cool holidays. So cool. Awesome, awesome. You gave me 2 of each color, so I thought, well, we could share them. Speaking of the stickers that Christina sent her. Smiley faces if you can't see them in the back. Love you, Emily, or your nickname for me, M.
Anything else you share with me, Dan?
Hi, I'm Dan. I'm one of Christina's cousins, and I just want to say that she wished me a happy birthday via the text recently, so I cherish that. And she sent me some nice cards over the years that she drew for me. And I want to tell you a couple of stories. One is I'm an artist, and once some years back, a long time ago, she asked me to make a drawing of her. And I thought, oh no, that's really hard to do. Doing a portrait is difficult. And I drew, and she asked me to draw her smiling. And I thought that's even more difficult, drawing someone smiles. But I did that. And then she was happy with it. And then she said, wait, hold on. You didn't draw the lines between my teeth. I thought, I didn't agree with this choice. I thought that it's better to just leave the space there, you see. And I really didn't like that, but I did it to please her. I feel terrible because I've been out of touch for so long, so it's very painful. But she was an awfully sweet person.
Yeah, she loved, well, so that gives me a memory to share. So as he said, he's an artist, and you are what, 5 years older than me, I think, and so 7 years older than Christina, and 9 years older than Paul. So then back way in the day when we were all kids, Dan would draw these on notepads. He'd take a notepad, he would draw a stick figure, and then in the next page, the stick figure would be slightly moving in the next page, so that when he would flip through the notepad, the stick figure was running. This was just mind-blowing, and Christina loved that. Just loved your art, and it made her happy, and it made her smile. So, anybody else want to share? Bobby?
First of all, Christina could talk your leg off. I loved every minute of it. She was bright, she was intelligent. We talked on many, many different subjects. She was an endearment to everybody in the court. I am a neighbor and a friend. And we all look out for each other there. And she was at every They
Potluck?
have potluck. And, she always had a smile. And we have a lot to be grateful for her. And I know we've talked about it several times, going to the other side and going back to God. And I know she's there. So I can let go of her now. But I'll remember Christina for the rest of my life. She was very special. Thank you for helping to make her that way.
We have time for one more. Anybody else?
My name's Jay. I met Christina about 14 years ago, right after my divorce, 29 years at Foundation Fellowship. They used to do a meal every Sunday about 4:30. And there was something about her, just like this lady said, her smile and her energy. And I said, this person's got something, she's got something special going on here. I could tell it was God. So I'm not gonna say Christina was my friend. She still is my friend. She's up in heaven looking down on us and smiling right now. And I miss her. I was over there, I went by there. I didn't know she passed on. I checked on her every once in a while, just to say hi and stuff. I consider her a dear friend. She's just full of life. I love her so much. We're all gonna miss her, but we'll see her again. He knows that. Thank you.
Thank you, Jay.
I just, on behalf of the family who's not here, and I don't want to speak for other people, but this is very touching and moving to us. We know that Christina was here for a purpose. God doesn't make mistakes. God helped her through life. He was with her every day, and he put her into kind of your care too. And I just see the friendships she's made, and we're grateful that she had those friendships. She had a fulfilled life on her terms. But she made friends, and we're grateful that she spent time with you, because we weren't here. A lot of us live all over the place. But I'm grateful that she got to know each one of you and touch each one of you in a different way. And as you remember her in that way, just remember that God cared for her. He cares for each one of you, each one of us, all of us here. He cares for every person. And she would want you to know that and take that to heart. And we just celebrated Easter. And basically Christ died for us on the cross and his resurrection. And that's the gift he's given us, and that hope of eternal life that Christina cherished and knew she had. And we know she knew that. And we wish that for all of you. And if you don't know the Lord and want to know him, talk to anybody here who knows the Lord. We'd love to share that with you, because that was part of Christina's life too. And that's what brought her through those hard times too.
Yep.
I would like to take a moment to thank all the people who helped put this service together. First, I will start with one person who is not able to be here in person, Jenny Ashby, James' partner, for putting together the slideshow that you saw earlier. Also for designing the program and ordering the food. Now for those who are here. My sister Becca for arranging the order of service, the contents of the program, arranging for the food, doing the physical setup of the room, emceeing the service, contributing to and editing Christina's life story that James read earlier, providing the photos for the slideshow, arranging for the obituary, and being a steady hand through this whole ordeal. I'd like to thank my nephew James for his moral support, for picking up the food, for doing the physical setup of the room, for contributing to the contents and design of the program, and for reading Christina's life story. I'd like to thank my cousin Dorothea for bringing many of the pictures, providing the poems that were read earlier, and the flowers, and for her part in leading the service. I'd like to thank my niece Jessica for contributing to the order of the service, the physical setup of the room, and sharing a special memory of her mom. My Uncle Will and Aunt Marianne for their parts in the service. Kelly Clark for streaming the service to those who could not be here in person. And I'd like to thank Chris Wiley and the Roseburg Public Library for making this room available, and Chris' kindness as we figured out the details and had to revise the arrangement several times. I'd also like to thank each of you who shared a memory of Christina, and all of you for coming today or watching online. And lastly, I'd like to thank in advance those of you who are going to help with tear down afterward. We need to vacate the room by 3:30, and all these tables and chairs have to be put away before then. The sign up here says to stack the chairs no more than 5 high. So we will need volunteers to get that accomplished. Thank you.
Now we will have,
Nope, you're good.
we'll have Christina's, uncle Will Tonn, lead us in a closing prayer.
Let's pray. Father, we thank you for the blessing that Christina has been in all of our lives. We ask now for grace and comfort as we continue on our life path that you have for us without her. Guide and direct us in Jesus' name.
Okay, thank you. Please mingle, please help yourself to food. I think in my grief, I went overboard and told Jenny to order way more than we need. And so I think we can eat and mingle for about 30 minutes and then we'll clean up real fast. Thank you so much for being here.
This is recorded. If anybody wants to say a little personal memory on here, you can still do that on the camera, okay? Yep. If not, that's really hard. I hope so. I'm still recording, so. Oh, I'm gonna send it, Paul. I'm saving it onto my computer too.
Oh, good. So you'll have it either way.
But many a days working on it.
Yes, he and I talked crafts all the time. And she had a lot of insight into things.
Do you want to say?
Oh, you're welcome.
I don't know how much I could say, but what you see is only what you get. You know, and there's so much more that's going on that we don't see. Because that's what Christina was. And she was very special my whole life. I've known her. I was her father when she was 18.
Yeah.
She stayed in our home and of all the people I've known thousands, she was one that was faithful. She was special. She came on Friday nights and wrote me cards and it was very special. I could talk German to her. So, very special time. Thank you.
What's your name?
Larry.
I'm Kelly.
Kelly.
Oh, I know his family very well, so I just wanted to make sure, so. Yeah, yeah.
There she is. Oh, I know. Let's all say something. Mr. Guardian Angel, me and my little sister.
Yeah, please do. All right.
Did you want to say something? Did you want to say something?
I pray for the son.
Would it be online?
I'm not sure. I guess we'll have to figure that out. I'll for sure send it to Paul. And then, but maybe we'll post it. I'm not sure. What's your name? Did you want to say something, Dimitri, for the recording? About a memory of her? So the camera's right here, actually.
Okay. Yeah, I just want to say that I miss Christina greatly. She was a great friend and very kind person, very humble. And I'm in shock, but I know she's in heaven now.
Yeah.
And she's her suffering. She suffered a lot, and it's her suffering's over now. Anyway, that's it. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you. Was she friends with your dog?
Yes.
What's your dog?
She's outside.
Yeah.
She's out in the car. That's why I haven't had a lead. But anyway, isn't that Christina? Are you relative?
We were friends in childhood. Yeah, she's a good friend. Where did you meet her?
I met her in church maybe like 12 years ago, but she used to come over to, I don't know if you know Larry.
We just met, yeah.
She used to live at Larry's house. She had a friend that lived in his house, because he rented rooms out there for people. That's how I got to know her really well last 2.5 years. Yeah.
Dimitri, I missed you. You weren't sitting here. Sorry, you weren't in here. Thank you for letting me know about this today. You let me know it was in the paper yesterday. I won't bother you now.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah, there's a lot. I enjoyed watching this kid grow up. I absolutely adore Allison. I didn't really have some coaching, so. Yeah, and the email that he did, he always had my back, and I know, so he's trying to show my potential behind those words he's done. Or, you know, but he's always been someone that
I did, I just kind of, there's so, it's so, you know, it's kind of, I'm kind of, I don't, there's a lot.
To do a lot to do that, so that we could focus.
Okay, does anybody need anything before I shut this down? Anybody you wanted to talk to or anything? Uncle Klaus there? Okay, I think I'm gonna go ahead and turn it off now. Is that okay? Becca, would you like me to go ahead and turn this off, or do you want it to run the whole? Okay. Okay, all right, we're gonna go ahead and shut it down. Thanks for attending. Love you, Christina.